It's coming, and if your soul has been restless, if your emotions have been on edge, if the days feel like they're blurring together, you're not imagining things. You're sensing a shift that most people can't explain. We are entering the most critical energetic window of the month. Not just another week, not just another full moon. This is a divine reset, a sacred crossroads in the spirit realm that touches your mind, your body, and your future. April 13th marks a full moon in Libra. But what's happening around this event is far more than just lunar energy. We're talking about Mercury going direct, Venus finally moving forward, and a rare cosmic alignment with Regulus, the royal star of spiritual authority. All of it leading to a spiritual tremor, a moment that breaks patterns, awakens gifts, and shifts your entire inner compass. You're being asked to decide, to walk away from the old cycles, to stop carrying emotional baggage that's weighing down your wings, to finally listen to what your intuition has been whispering for weeks. Because whether you're ready or not, this energy will reach you. Decisions made now will echo for months to come. Intentions you set will root deep, and the truth you've been avoiding, it's going to surface. So if you've been feeling emotional turbulence, sudden breakthroughs, or strange synchronicities, it's not chaos, it's alignment. This is your moment to pause, to breathe, and to choose your timeline consciously. We're going deep into what this resetting moon means for your relationships, your finances, your spiritual purpose, and your emotional rebirth. But first, do 3 things to activate your alignment. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment 777 to open the flow of divine synchronicity. Let's walk into this next chapter with our eyes open, our hearts steady, and our spirits ready to rise. Now let's begin. 1. The portal has opened style. Spiritual, grounded, prophetic, voiced. For Declan Sage tone, you're not just entering another phase of life. You're standing at the edge of a spiritual portal, and the energy of this week is the key. The days between April 7th and April 13th are not ordinary. They are divinely coded with cosmic instruction, emotional release, and spiritual elevation. This isn't about superstition. It's about alignment. It's about sensing that the sky is moving differently and your soul is finally catching up. So if time feels like it's accelerating, if you've been unusually emotional, anxious, or even inspired, it's not random. It's activation. The universe is setting the stage for you to cross from your old timeline into the new one. The question is, will you walk through the door? April 13th, the full moon in Libra. At the center of this energetic shift is the full moon in Libra, an astrological event known for illuminating the areas of your life that require balance, justice, and emotional harmony. But this is not just about zodiac signs. This is a moon of reckoning. Libra, the sign of the scales, is all about recalibration. And under this moon, everything out of alignment will come to the surface. Relationships that no longer serve, habits that sabotage your progress, emotional wounds you've buried under smiles and survival. You can't hide anymore, because this isn't just about closure. It's a leap, a vault into a new state of being. And what's wild is, many people around you won't even realize it's happening. They'll go about their days as usual, completely unaware that a spiritual door just opened above them. But you're different, you're aware, you've been feeling it coming for weeks, even if you couldn't name it. What happens when energy accelerates? Let's be honest, lately it's felt like everything is happening all at once. One moment you're calm, the next you're emotional. You're getting signs, synchronicities, dreams that feel too specific to ignore. Some days feel like you're living 2 lifetimes in 24 hours. Why? Because the veil is thin right now. During portals like this, time can fold in on itself. You may experience déjà vu. Old emotions may suddenly you might bump into people from your past or suddenly remember something long forgotten. It's not a glitch, it's divine orchestration. The energy of this week is flushing out everything that doesn't belong in your next chapter. And yes, it might feel intense, but that intensity is not punishment, it's purification. The old you is being burned off. Sometimes transformation doesn't look magical. Sometimes it looks like tears at midnight, like revisiting a wound you thought had healed, like realizing a version of you has expired. This is that moment, and while the world moves as if nothing has changed, your soul knows everything has changed. You're being asked to release not just the people and things around you, but the version of yourself who accepted less, the version who tolerated misalignment, the one who stayed silent when your spirit was screaming for more. This moon is asking for truth, for clarity, for your yes to what's real and your no to what's false. You don't have to know every step forward, but you do have to stop pretending the old path still fits you. This week, a spiritual compass. Every single moment from April 7th to April 13th is speaking to you. That conversation you didn't expect, it carries a hidden message. That dream you woke up remembering in vivid detail, it's guidance. That moment you felt peace for no reason, it's confirmation. This week is a spiritual compass if you're willing to pay attention. Start noticing. Start documenting. Write your feelings down. Capture your thoughts when they rise. Because this is the universe giving you divine direction in real time. You're not waiting for the shift anymore, you're in it. You're not behind. You're right on time. Maybe this season has felt heavy. Maybe you've questioned whether you missed your moment, whether you're too late, too tired, too broken. Let me speak directly to your spirit. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not being punished. You are simply in the refining fire. And fire never destroys the gold, it purifies it. This week is the sacred reset you didn't even know you needed. It's the moment where you shed the outdated versions of yourself and align with the original blueprint of your soul. The leap requires trust. Don't try to overthink this season. You don't need a 5-year plan. You need trust. You need obedience to the nudges in your heart. You need to choose alignment over attachment. The leap is internal first. The breakthrough follows. When you step in rhythm with the divine timing of this week, things will start to move fast. Opportunities you thought had passed you by will show up again. Emotional clarity will replace confusion. Relationships will reveal their true nature. And most of all, you will feel yourself returning to you. Not the you shaped by fear, not the you who settled, but the you that was always meant to lead, love, and live in full truth. This is just the beginning. The sky has only started speaking, and in part 2, we're going to dive into what Mercury's shift means for your mental clarity and decision-making. Because the fog is lifting, and when the mind clears, everything changes. Let's keep going. 2. Mercury's message. Retrograde ends, clarity begins. 1,000 words. Declan's sage voice style, reflective, reassuring, yet deeply empowering. Something shifted on April 7th. And if you're spiritually sensitive, you felt it, like a mental fog suddenly lifting, like clarity returning after months of uncertainty. That was Mercury, the planet of communication and thought, finally ending its retrograde. For weeks, maybe even months, your thoughts may have felt scrambled. You started second-guessing things you once knew. Conversations felt tense, misunderstood, or simply off. But now, the air is different. Now the universe is saying, speak clearly, think clearly, move forward. Why Mercury matters spiritually. You've probably heard about Mercury retrograde before, blamed for tech issues, arguments, missed flights, and broken contracts. But beyond the surface chaos, there's something much deeper happening. Mercury governs the mind, messages, and movement. When it's in retrograde, it doesn't literally move backward, but its energetic influence does. And that means old thoughts return, past conversations repeat, decisions get cloudy, and your inner GPS spins in circles. But that was then. Now, with Mercury moving forward, your thoughts begin to align with divine order. You're able to see what was previously blurred. Words come easier. Decisions feel solid. Your intuition no longer competes with confusion. It flows with it. The power of forward motion. Mercury's direct motion is not just a green light to go. It's a sacred reset of the mental body. And this is why it's so critical during this window. Right now, the universe is asking, what have you been postponing? Because your mind wasn't clear? That conversation you've been avoiding? That plan you left half finished? That decision you keep delaying because you were afraid of choosing wrong. Now is the time. And here's the truth most people miss. When Mercury goes direct, it's not just easier to speak. It's easier to hear. Not just with your ears, but with your spirit. Divine guidance comes through mental stillness. Sometimes God whispers, but you can't hear because your inner world is loud. But this week, something is quieting down inside you. And in that stillness, you can finally recognize the subtle messages that were drowned out before. A word you keep hearing over and over. A phrase in a song that suddenly feels like it's just for you. A dream that keeps repeating. A thought that lingers like a compass in your chest. These aren't accidents, they're invitations. Mercury is now a channel, not a block. And if you listen closely, you'll notice divine strategy is now flowing into your awareness. Thoughts become blueprints. The steps you take this week, especially the mental ones, are going to matter more than you realize. This is the week to write your plans. Refine your ideas. Speak your truth even if your voice shakes. Revisit the goals you've shelved because you weren't ready. Because what you think about now becomes the blueprint for what builds in the coming months. This isn't about hustling harder. It's about aligning deeper. That small decision you make today with intention and clarity could shift your entire path. That journal entry you almost didn't write could become your roadmap. You are the architect of your future. But Mercury is handing you the pen. Mercury plus the past. What returns now has purpose. Let's talk about something that might feel confusing. You might notice old people reaching out. Past conversations circling back. Emotions from months or even years ago suddenly surfacing. That's not regression, that's redirection. Mercury's post-retrograde shadow period still carries echoes of what was. But this time, it comes with insight. So if someone returns to your life, don't panic. If an old dream calls your name again, don't dismiss it. This may be your chance to revisit it with fresh eyes and stronger boundaries. Ask yourself, why is this showing up now? What lesson have I learned that I didn't see before? Am I meant to engage or release this for good? The clarity you've been waiting for is here, but it asks for your honesty. Harmony of head and heart. One of the most beautiful things about Mercury moving forward is the reunion it creates between head and heart. Before this, maybe your heart knew something, but your mind couldn't make peace with it. Or your intuition said, go, but logic screamed, not yet. Now those two voices can finally find rhythm. You're no longer fighting yourself internally. And this balance is essential because in part 3, we'll talk about a cosmic event involving Regulus, the royal star, that opens the gateway to spiritual leadership. But before you step into leadership, you have to first lead yourself with clarity, courage, and conviction. What you can do right now. To harness Mercury's energy fully, try these simple practices this week. Silent mornings. Begin your day without devices. Listen to your inner dialogue. Write it out. Journal your thoughts, ideas, and repeating signs. Mercury rewards reflection. Speak with intention. Be mindful of your words. They create clear conversations. If someone's on your heart, reach out. It may be time to clear the air or seal the chapter. Plan plus act. Make one decision this week that you've been avoiding, even a small one. The more you move in alignment with this rhythm, the more the universe confirms you're exactly where you're meant to be. Mercury has turned the light back on. Now you can see. Now you can choose. Now you can walk forward with more confidence than you've had in months. And that's not all. The sky isn't finished speaking. Because in part 3, something rare happens. A meeting between the moon and Regulus, the star of kings. A sign that your crown is calling you. It's not just a celestial event, it's a mirror. And it's time for you to rise into who you truly are. Let's keep going. 3. The moon meets Regulus. Awaken the royal within. There are moments in time when the sky doesn't just speak, it declares. Between the night of April 7th and the early morning of April 8th, such a moment unfolds. Quiet, powerful, divine. A celestial meeting few will notice, but the chosen will feel it in their bones. The moon meets Regulus, and when these two forces align, something ancient is activated, something royal. This isn't just about astronomy, it's spiritual DNA. Your crown is remembering you. The moon, your inner world. Let's start with what the moon symbolizes. The moon governs your emotions, intuition, dreams, subconscious truths. It doesn't ask for logic. It flows with feeling. And when it shows up strong in the sky, it pulls on the tides of your inner world just like it pulls on the oceans. This week, the moon isn't just shining, it's aligning with something far greater than itself. Something few stars rival in spiritual significance. Regulus, the royal star Regulus, isn't just any star, and in ancient times it was known as the heart of the lion, a sign of kingship, nobility, divine leadership, courage rooted in spiritual truth. Regulus is the star that reminds you, you were not made to bow, you were made to lead. Its energy has always been associated with rulers, not the power-hungry but the divinely appointed, the ones called to guide, protect, elevate, and uplift. So when the moon, your emotional center, passes near Regulus, your inner royalty is being summoned, not through ego, but through remembrance. Heart and crown, a divine bridge. This alignment isn't random, it's perfectly timed. The moon represents your heart. Regulus represents the crown, and the message is clear. It's time to lead with both. Not just with your emotions, which can shift and sway, and not just with your logic, which can become cold and disconnected, but with divine alignment. This moment says, elevate your emotions, let your heart wear the crown, because a wounded heart in leadership can be dangerous. But a healed heart, a heart in tune with God, rooted in truth, led by spirit, that's unstoppable. The royal activation signs, you'll feel it. You may not see this meeting in the sky with your naked eye, but if you're tuned in spiritually, you'll know something happened. Here are some signs this regal alignment is touching your life. A sudden burst of confidence for no logical reason. You start remembering childhood dreams you buried. You feel called to speak up, not from pride, but from purpose. You feel done with playing small or pretending to be okay. You sense that you've been through fire, and now you're ready to lead. These aren't coincidences, they're confirmations. Your crown is coming into alignment with your calling. This is a leadership anointing. Let's get something straight. Leadership isn't about followers. It's about frequency, about walking in integrity when no one's watching, about choosing purpose over popularity, about making decisions that serve your highest self, not your momentary comfort. Regulus doesn't activate influencers, it awakens impact makers. So if lately you've felt like the quiet one, the unseen one, the underestimated one, perfect, because those are the ones God often raises up when it's time to shift the atmosphere. But first, surrender before the crown is placed on your head. The weight of it must be understood. That's why this moment is so tender. You may feel emotional during this transit. You may cry without knowing why. You may feel the ache of every time you were told you weren't enough. Let that come up. Let the false stories flush out of your system. You can't wear the crown of your calling while still carrying the shame of your past. This is a spiritual surrender, not a power grab. It's not about control, it's about alignment. What's stopping me? That's the question the stars ask during this meeting. When you look up, physically or spiritually, this is the reflection you receive. What's really stopping me from stepping into who I'm called to be? Not who they expect, not who they molded, but who you were born as. Ask yourself that question this week. In the silence of your room, in the stillness of morning light, in the moments when you feel that whisper rise in your chest, and then answer it with honesty, with courage, with love. This is a threshold moment, make no mistake. After this week, things won't feel the same. You'll notice when you're shrinking. You'll feel uncomfortable around environments that dishonor your worth. You'll no longer tolerate spiritual laziness. You'll feel pulled to build, to create, to lead, to speak. That's the crown sitting heavier on your spirit. And it's a good thing, because leadership is not a title, it's a frequency. And this alignment is fine-tuning your soul to carry it well. Final thoughts before we move on. This Moon Regulus meeting is a whisper from the cosmos that says, you were made for more. And now it's time. It's time to stop apologizing for your light. Time to stop second-guessing your gifts. Time to rise, not in ego, but in divine purpose. This isn't a moment for loud declarations. This is a moment for inner resolve, to say quietly but clearly in your soul, I accept the responsibility of who I truly am. Because once you do, the world begins to shift around you. In Part 4, we'll explore how Mercury's meeting with Saturn sharpens that clarity, grounding your thoughts and emotions into mature, focused action. Because royalty without structure is just chaos. But with discipline, with vision, you become unstoppable. Let's move forward. 4. Mercury meets Saturn. Discipline meets destiny. We've talked about clarity. We've talked about leadership. Now, we talk about weight. Because calling is beautiful, but calling without structure, it collapses. On April 10th, a powerful celestial moment arrives. Mercury, planet of communication and thought, forms a close conjunction with Saturn, the planet of responsibility, discipline, and maturity. And when these two energies meet, your ideas become instructions. Your thoughts become blueprints. Your inner voice meets divine accountability. This is the moment where your vision must grow roots. Mercury thought, words, inner narratives. Mercury governs how you process information, make decisions, speak your truth, interpret the world around you. When Mercury is active, your mind is active. You're filled with insights, connections, realizations, downloads from the divine. But if Mercury is the messenger, Saturn is the builder. He asks, what will you do with what you now know? Saturn disciplines structure, consequence. Saturn doesn't play, it governs. Time, boundaries, maturity, delayed gratification, cause and effect. When Saturn enters the room, it says great vision, but where's your foundation? Big dreams, but what are you willing to sacrifice? Deep wisdom, but are you living it? This planet doesn't care about feelings. It cares about form, and it only blesses what is built with integrity. So when Mercury and Saturn align, you are given the opportunity to speak with authority, plan with clarity, think long-term, commit to the uncomfortable. This is when spiritual awakenings are turned into actual change. When transformation is no longer emotional, it becomes embodied. Maturity as a spiritual tool. We often talk about growth as if it's just a feeling, but real spiritual growth is measured in consistency, in self-control, in your ability to stay planted when the winds of emotion try to knock you over. This Mercury-Saturn transit is the divine push that says, grow up and show up. It's time to be responsible for your purpose, your potential, your power, not in a heavy, shame-filled way, but in a liberated, empowering way. Because when you truly grasp your power, you stop wasting it. You stop leaking it in fear-based decisions, toxic relationships, and half-hearted actions. What needs a blueprint? Saturn asks you this week, where have you been vision-rich but discipline-poor? Maybe you've had ideas floating in your head for months. A business, a new routine, a book, a boundary, a break, but you haven't mapped it. You haven't committed. You haven't built the scaffolding to hold it. That's what this moment is for. Take your wild ideas and give them form. Create a timeline, break it into steps, schedule it, speak it with confidence, honor it with consistency. When Mercury speaks and Saturn builds, you step into divine execution, past lessons, present clarity. Here's something else Saturn does. It brings up unfinished business. This week you may notice old patterns resurfacing, past failures reappearing, delays suddenly becoming decisions. Don't resist it. This is Saturn's way of asking, what have you learned? It's not testing you to punish you. It's offering you a sacred redo, but this time with wisdom. So if you failed to speak up before, speak now. If you ignored the warning before, heed it now. If you dropped the ball before, pick it up now and carry it with intention. Every lesson you've lived is giving you fuel for your next level. Don't waste it. Focused thought yields spiritual power. When Mercury and Saturn link, your mental focus sharpens. You're no longer easily distracted. You start recognizing which thoughts are worthy of your energy and which ones are emotional noise. This is the perfect time to start a writing project, make serious plans for your career or mission, Set boundaries around your energy. Have the tough conversations you've been postponing. Define your non-negotiables. Saturn says, get serious. Not just serious about your dreams, but serious about yourself. This is the foundation year. If you've been wondering why this year feels heavier, this is why. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. God is building something in you that needs to last. And for it to last, the foundation must be deep, intentional, and stable. That's what this moment is helping you create. A new way of thinking, a new way of planning, a new way of walking in spiritual maturity. So if life is asking more of you right now, if the old ways aren't working anymore, if you feel called to step up in areas you used to hide in, you're not failing, you're maturing. What to practice this week? To align with Mercury and Saturn's energy, here's what you can do. Write out your vision, not just dreams, details, dates, structure, assignments. Schedule sacred time, block off space for thinking, planning, and doing. Give your ideas room to breathe. Review your patterns, what habits have been stealing your time and energy. Saturn is all about reclaiming discipline. Speak with clarity. Be direct in your communication. Say what you mean. Don't dance around truth. Own your decisions, make choices from alignment, not pressure or fear. This is the week to commit. Final words before we continue. This Mercury-Saturn conjunction is serious, but it's sacred. It's the bridge between inspiration and implementation. This is where dreamers become builders. This is where the what-ifs become here's how. This is where you take your place as a conscious creator of your future, not just a passenger in your past. And the best part? Once you take the step, just one focused, mature, grounded step, the universe responds with momentum. Doors open, time stretches, the vision unfolds, because God supports those who build in faith and move with intention. In part 5, Venus finally goes direct, restoring balance in love, finances, and how you value yourself. It's not just a return to beauty, it's a full-body remembering of what you truly deserve. Let's move forward. 5. Venus goes direct, love, worth, and divine flow restored. 1,000 words. Voice Declan sage, warm, reflective, deeply intuitive with subtle emotional depth. Some shifts are loud, earthquakes in your spirit. Others are soft, like the quiet return of something you thought was lost. When Venus goes direct on April 12th, it doesn't shout, it whispers. You are worthy again, and this time you believe it. Venus governs everything that feels good, but in the deepest sense. Love, money, beauty, relationships, values, not surface-level desires, but soul-level satisfaction. When Venus is in retrograde, all of these areas come under review. It's like a spiritual audit of the heart. You're forced to re-examine your self-worth, your relational patterns, your connection to abundance. But now, that phase is ending. The fog is lifting, and your capacity to receive, really receive, is being restored. When the flow was blocked over the past few weeks, maybe you've noticed emotional distance in your relationships, old heartbreak resurfacing unexpectedly, doubts about your value or attractiveness, money feeling tighter or stuck, a loss of creative inspiration or beauty around you. That was Venus in retrograde. But it wasn't punishment, it was purification. Because before you could enter this new season of receiving, the divine had to make sure you were ready. Not to chase, not to beg, but to allow. Now that Venus is moving forward, the energy begins to move again. Not chaotically, but with alignment, with elegance, with ease. The soft power of self-worth. Venus going direct doesn't just change your outer world, it recalibrates your inner compass. You begin to see your value more clearly. You start realizing how much you've been settling, emotionally, romantically, creatively, financially. And here's the miracle. When you recognize your value, the universe matches it. This is where blessings accelerate, because God doesn't reward desperation. God rewards alignment. And self-worth isn't about arrogance, it's about accuracy, seeing yourself through the lens of truth, not trauma. Love gets clear. Let's talk about relationships. Under Venus retrograde, many relationships are tested. You may have questioned a connection you once felt sure about, seen someone's true colors emerge, had unresolved feelings about an ex come to the surface, been triggered by emotional wounds you thought were healed, but now the energy is stabilizing, the illusions are falling away, and you're no longer guessing how someone feels, If someone isn't meant for you, the separation will become clear. If someone is meant for you, the love will start flowing again, cleaner, stronger, more grounded. And for many, this is the moment when a new love begins, not from loneliness, not from fantasy, but from overflow. Because you've done the work, you've healed. And now, love meets you where you are, not where you used to be, reclaiming your beauty and creativity. Venus also governs aesthetics, your personal style, how you present yourself to the world, how you express your soul through form. During the retrograde, you may have felt dull, disconnected from your body, uninspired creatively, disinterested in the little things that once brought you joy. But now that spark is returning. Don't be surprised if you suddenly feel inspired to change your look. You feel called to redecorate your space. You pick up a creative project you forgot about. You feel beautiful again, without changing anything externally. That's Venus energy reawakening. When Venus moves forward, you don't need to chase beauty. You become it. Financial flow returns. Let's get practical, because Venus also rules money. If you've experienced delayed payments, unexpected expenses, financial stress or confusion, questioning your earning power, that was part of the retrograde realignment. Money isn't just numbers, it's energy. And during retrograde, your relationship with money gets tested. Were you giving too much and receiving too little? Were you chasing wealth without alignment? Were you tied to beliefs like, I'm not good with money, or I'll never have enough? Venus going direct is a chance to rewrite that script. You're not meant to live in financial fear. You're meant to flow with divine provision. So take this opportunity to review your finances with compassion. Set new goals that reflect your current value. Open yourself to unexpected income or breakthroughs. Shift from survival mode into creation mode. It's not about working harder, it's about receiving smarter. What you can do this week. To align with Venus energy, try these practices. Affirm your worth, speak love over yourself daily. Remind yourself, I am worthy of good things. Create something beautiful, mate. Dress up, cook a new meal. Express your essence in form. Reevaluate your relationships. Who adds peace? Who drains you? Choose alignment over attachment. Bless your finances instead of stressing about money. Bless it. Speak abundance. Organize your budget. Plant a seed of generosity. Allow pleasure, give yourself permission to enjoy. Rest, laugh, savor your food. Pleasure is a sacred part of the divine design, the deeper message of Venus direct. Here's what this all means at the soul level. You no longer have to beg for love, overgive for attention, or hustle for validation. You're stepping into a season where the blessings are drawn to your vibration, not your effort. You become a magnet when you live in truth. You attract what reflects your worth, not your wounds. You no longer chase peace, you are peace. So breathe deeply this week. Smile again. Let the heaviness melt. You made it through the emotional audit. Now you're approved for overflow. In part 6, the full moon in Libra finally arrives. And under its luminous gaze, everything you've faced, every shift, every realignment, every breakthrough comes to the surface for release and rebirth. It's time for balance. It's time for truth. It's time to walk in harmony with your highest self. Let's continue. 6. The full moon in Libra. Balance, breakthroughs, and becoming. It's here. April 13th. The day the energy crests. The moment the sky draws a line and says, choose your alignment, choose your peace, choose your truth. This is no ordinary full moon. This is the Libra full moon, the moon of balance, justice, and sacred recalibration. And under this moon, nothing fake survives. Nothing half-hearted holds. Nothing out of alignment can stay hidden anymore. You're standing in the center of a spiritual scale, and it's time to weigh what serves you and what quietly sabotages your soul. The energy of Libra. Balance above all. Libra is the sign of equilibrium. It's ruled by Venus. Yes, the same Venus we just saw go direct. But where Venus is about beauty and love, Libra is about justice, fairness, and truth in relationships. Libra asks, are you giving and receiving equally? Are you living authentically or people-pleasing for peace? Are your partnerships romantic, professional, spiritual, balanced? Do you feel at harmony with yourself, or are you still trying to earn your worth? The Libra full moon brings all of this to the surface. You may find yourself revisiting past emotional wounds, reevaluating who truly belongs in your life, suddenly seeing the imbalance you've been tolerating, feeling a powerful urge to finally let go of the weight. Because that's what this moon does. It reveals, it releases, and then it resets. Full moons are illuminators. A full moon is the culmination of an emotional cycle. It shines a spotlight on hidden truths, deep emotions, inner contradictions, unspoken needs. This isn't the time to suppress or deny how you feel. If you've been emotionally numb, you may suddenly feel everything. If you've been biting your tongue, the truth may come pouring out. If you've been holding on too tightly, you may feel the urge to finally let go, not in anger, but in clarity. And if you've done your healing work, this moon will feel like a breath of balance, a deep exhale, a moment of peace. The mirror moon. What do you see? Libra is ruled by the mirror, not just what you see in others, but what you see in yourself. This moon may show you how you've been overextending yourself, how your reflection has been distorted by someone else's opinion, how you've forgotten the quiet beauty of simply being enough. Look closely, not at your flaws, but at your alignment. Ask yourself, am I living in my truth? Am I building a life that reflects my soul, or just surviving one that doesn't? This full moon invites radical honesty, not judgment, but clarity. And clarity is freedom. A turning point in relationships. Relationships are highlighted under this moon. And not just romantic ones. You may reconnect with someone on a deeper level, and a connection that no longer fits your future. Have long overdue conversations that bring truth to the table. Realize you've been betraying yourself just to keep the peace. Remember, peace is not the absence of conflict. It's the presence of truth. If something feels off in your relationships, trust your intuition. This moon doesn't tolerate emotional dishonesty, but it does reward authentic connection. The kind where both souls feel safe to be fully seen. Emotional imbalance surfaces. You may feel emotionally sensitive around this time. Don't run from it. You're not broken, you're breaking through. This full moon is a detox, a cleansing, an invitation to release every fear, every grudge, every mental script that's weighed you down. If tears come, let them. If silence calls, honor it. If peace finds you, embrace it. You're not just releasing emotions, you're realigning your emotional body to match the next chapter of your life. And that's sacred. High-frequency souls, you'll feel immersed at first. If you're someone who feels deeply, who dreams vividly, who picks up on subtle shifts in energy, this moon will stir something powerful in you. You may experience sudden downloads or realizations, spiritual dreams or visitations, heightened intuition, a sense that something is about to shift. This is your soul syncing with the cosmic rhythm. It's not anxiety, it's activation. Lean into it. Journal your dreams. Follow your inner nudges. Don't doubt the divine intelligence that's speaking through your body. What you can do under this moon. To make the most of this sacred moon, try the following. Moonlight journaling. Sit under the moonlight and write what you're ready to release. Don't hold back. Candle reflection. Light a candle and meditate on balance. Ask, what am I carrying that no longer belongs to me? Energetic cord cutting. Visualize cutting ties to anything that drains your spirit. Habits, people, self-doubt. Affirmation of alignment. Say aloud, I release imbalance. I call in truth. I align with peace. Restorative connection. Speak openly with someone you trust. Not to fix, just to feel seen. The invitation. Harmony within, harmony without. This full moon is not here to destroy. It's here to disarm the defense mechanisms, the emotional walls, the illusions. It calls you to peace, not as a performance, but as a posture. Because when you are balanced within, the world around you begins to mirror that balance. And that's what this week has been about all along. Releasing what blocks your flow, realigning with your truth, remembering your worth, reclaiming your leadership, restoring your peace. The Libra moon is your soul's permission slip to live differently, to no longer just survive chaos, but to build peace. to stop begging for balance and start becoming it. You are not who you were before this week. Something has shifted, and now, with the light of the full moon illuminating your path, you're ready to walk forward with grace. In Part 7, we'll explore what happens after the moonlight fades. When the synchronicities increase, intuition sharpens, and the universe begins speaking in signs, symbols, and dreams. You're entering a season of sacred guidance, and your only job is to listen. Let's continue. 7. Synchronicities, symbols, and the voice of the universe. The full moon has done its work. It's exposed, it's healed, it's reset. But now, something quieter begins. Something even more mystical, more personal. You've crossed into a space where the universe no longer speaks in full sentences. It speaks in symbols, in patterns, in synchronicities. And your only job now is to notice, because the week after a full moon, especially one as powerful as Libra's, is not just about what happened. It's about what is about to unfold. When the veil is thin, the signs begin from April 13th forward, the energy softens, but it also becomes more layered. The veil between the physical and spiritual worlds thins, allowing divine messages to come through in unusual ways. Numbers repeating everywhere, 11 through 27, words or names that appear multiple times in one day, a specific animal showing up unexpectedly, dreams so vivid they linger long after you've woken up, songs, phrases, or lyrics that feel like someone's reading your thoughts, random people showing up with exactly the message you needed. This isn't coincidence, it's confirmation. You're being guided in ways that logic can't explain. And if you listen with your spirit, not your head, you'll know exactly what each message means. Dreams, the language of the subconscious. During this post-full moon window, your dreams may become more intense or prophetic. You may see people you haven't thought about in years, relive old memories but with new meaning, fly, fall, swim, walk through doors, or visit otherworldly places, meet guides or figures you can't quite identify but instinctively trust, wake up with an emotion or phrase echoing in your mind. These dreams aren't random. They're messages from your inner self, your higher self, even from the divine. This is your subconscious and the universe collaborating, giving you insight, helping you release buried emotions, preparing you for what's next. Don't dismiss these moments, write them down, sit with them, decode them not with logic, but with intuition. Because dreams don't always tell you what you want to hear. They show you what you need to feel, following the signs without forcing meaning. Now let's talk about synchronicity. Repeating numbers, strange alignments, familiar faces. It's tempting to try to decode everything like a puzzle. But this season isn't about forcing answers. It's about recognizing rhythm. Signs aren't commands, they're nudges, confirmations, reassurances that yes, you're aligned, you're seen, you're heard. For example, seeing 777 doesn't mean go buy a lottery ticket. It might mean you're in spiritual alignment, stay the course. Hearing a phrase like let go repeatedly in different conversations, that's likely a divine message saying, it's safe to release. A butterfly landing on your window every morning, that's transformation saying, you've already begun. You don't need to obsess, you simply need to be present, aware. Still enough to notice the whisper behind the wind. This week, conscious awareness is your compass. In the days after the Libra full moon, time may feel different. It might feel like time speeds up, then slows down. Days blur together. You lose track of time while doing simple things. You accidentally show up in the right place at the perfect moment. These are alignment moments. The universe is creating situations that reroute you, reconnect you, reveal to you. So what should you do? Stay open. Let go of tight plans. Be flexible. Miracles like movement. Document synchronicities. Keep a signs journal where you write repeating patterns. Notice your thoughts when signs appear. What were you just thinking about? That's usually the answer. Don't chase meaning. If you don't understand it yet, you're not supposed to. Let it unfold. Intuition as your inner guide. This is also the time when your intuition levels up. You'll begin instantly sensing people's energy without them speaking, knowing which decisions feel light and which feel heavy, receiving internal instructions, call this person. Go left instead to rest today. And here's the key. You don't need to understand why. Obedience to intuitive nudges without needing explanation is one of the most powerful spiritual muscles you can build, because often the answer you want comes after the step of trust. So follow that nudge. Make that call. Change that plan. Take the scenic route. Pause before reacting. That's not delay, that's divine direction. When you're guided, peace follows. One of the clearest signs you're in alignment. Peace, not perfection, not the absence of difficulty, but a quiet inner stillness that says, I don't know what's next, but I know I'm being led. That's the energy you're stepping into now. An inner trust, a softness, a willingness to receive and respond rather than control and chase. Because when your soul is tuned to divine rhythm, you stop chasing, you start flowing. Practices to deepen spiritual sensitivity this week. To stay aligned with this frequency, try the following. Morning listening. Sit in silence for 10 minutes before you check your phone. Ask your spirit, what do I need to know today? Signs journal. Every time something synchronistic happens, write it down. Patterns will form. Dream integration. Keep a journal by your bed. Upon waking, write your dreams, even fragments. Themes will emerge. Nature walks without distractions. No phone, no music, just presence. Let the earth speak to your spirit. Follow one nudge daily. Choose one intuitive whisper, no matter how small, and obey it. Then watch what unfolds. You're being led not just forward, but deeper. Right now, the universe isn't yelling. It's whispering. And if you tune in, it will show you things your eyes alone can't see. You don't need all the answers. You don't need the full map. You just need the next step and then the next. And as you take each step, the road reveals itself. The signs appear, the alignment happens, and the right people, places, and paths come to you. You've shifted, now walk in it. Take a breath. Look back, just for the moment, at where you stood before this week began, at who you were before the portals opened, before the full moon revealed what you couldn't keep buried, before Mercury cleared your mind, before Venus restored your heart. Look at everything that's shifted, not just in the sky, but inside of you. Because this wasn't just a cosmic event, it was a spiritual upgrade, a holy invitation, a sacred reminder that you were never meant to remain in old cycles, old patterns, or outdated versions of yourself. You were born to evolve, to rise, to remember. The energy has shifted now, so must you. The signs have been speaking, the guidance has been pouring in, and the healing is unfolding. But this is the part where many souls freeze. They see the new door, but hesitate to walk through it. They hear the calling, but cling to the comfort. They sense the change, but fear what it will cost. Don't let that be your story. You've come too far. You've let go of too much. You've learned what needed to be learned. Now is the time to trust that the work was not in vain. Now is the time to move, not with chaos, but with confidence. Because once the internal shift happens, the external must follow. Stay grounded, stay open, stay true. This next chapter isn't about rushing or striving, it's about alignment. Let your yes be sacred. Let your no be firm. Let your rest be holy. Let your steps be spirit-led. Your guidance system is active now. Your intuition is sharper. Your awareness is deeper. And the world will reflect what you believe you're worthy of. So hold that belief high. Don't shrink to fit what you've outgrown. Don't silence your voice to make others comfortable. And don't delay the movement your soul is ready for. A final word from the stars this week wasn't random. You were meant to hear this. You were meant to feel this shift. You were meant to awaken now, not later. Because your presence, your power, your clarity is needed. Not in some distant future, but right now. So carry this energy with reverence. Walk into your next steps with open eyes and an open heart. And know this: you are guided, you are protected, you are ready. If this message resonated with you, do these 3 things to anchor your alignment. Like this video to lock in the energy, subscribe so you don't miss what's next, comment 777 to affirm that you're ready to receive everything divinely meant for you, and share this with someone who needs to remember their power. They may not say it, but they've been waiting for this light too. Until next time, stay aware, stay aligned, and stay in your sacred flow. We'll see you in the next transmission. Peace.